chairperson for the session. I welcome you, sir. Now I hand over the session to Dr. V. Shanmugharaju.
Very good afternoon. Karka Kasadara, Karpavai, Katrabin, Nirka, Adarkataga. So these are all the words of Thiruvalluvar. With these words, so I am happy to introduce our guest who is going to speak on ICT-based learning through web apps. If you take Indian higher education system, in that some of the facts I would like to share with you. The cross-enrollment ratio of our India is, especially in higher educational institution, it's around 25 to 26%. So in that gross enrollment ratio, Tamil Nadu stood, that means it's the first, above the national average, that's around 46 to 47%. Then India is the fourth among the country which produces more number of PhDs. In average manner, per year, it's produced around 25,000 PhD graduates. Even in that, almost 44%, that is 44% PhD graduates are from our own states, Tamil Nadu. If you take the 3 years average from 2013 to 2016, the number of PhD graduates produced by our India is around 70,000. With this huge resources in higher education segment, so we are, that means having very good cross-enrollment ratio, all those things and all. Okay, so by considering all those things, the academic experts or educationalists, they are suggesting that it's not possible for us, that means to feed the entire nation with the conventional method of teaching. So they have suggested and they are giving a lot of advices to go for digital learning and ICT-based learning. Okay, so in that, many advantages and disadvantages and all people are listing out. Okay, I hope this session will give the throw light about what that means, what are all the possibilities, so what are all the limitations we have to implement the ICT-based learning through our web apps. So at this junction, I am happy to introduce our guest, Dr. S. Sendilnathan, Director, UGC Human Resource Development Center, and Associate Professor, Deputy Coordinator, UGC SAP Program of Department of Educational Technology, Bharatidasan University, Tiruchirappalli. If you take his qualification, he has MA English, MA Journalism and Mass Communication, MEd and PhD. Area of specialization, educational technology, ICT in education, educational multimedia, e-content development, English language teaching. So these are all the specialization of our guest. Okay, thank you.
Very good afternoon, every one of you. It was Sunday afternoon, Swiggy le or biryani order panni saapittu rest edukka vendi time ide, right? I know how I am disadvantaged, right, in many ways. This being the last day of the program, a post-lunch session. However, it's a pleasure to be in this campus which gives so much of importance to teacher development. A very good introduction has been given by the Dean Students Affairs, where technology comes into play. In a country where the higher education system is the third largest in the world, how bridging the gap between quality and quantity, technologies can play a tremendous role, he has talked about. So with that brief introduction, I'm sure I will take on the topic digital learning. Though in fact, the organizers told me that I should speak something on information and Speaking up, yeah. So as I was preparing, I thought I would have my title something like this: Enhancing or Enriching Learning with the Digital Experiences. See here, what is important is enrichment of learning, and the other one is through the digital experiences. So both need a special attention. Leave alone being a teacher, leave alone being a teacher of the 21st century, who are actually meeting a target audience of very highly tech-savvy student community today. Leaving all these things behind, if you look at yourself as an individual, are you happy with ordinary experiences, or you look forward to have some enriched experiences? Enriched experiences or ordinary experiences? Or I will put the other way, how many of you in this hall has not seen Bahubali 2? So no hands coming up. So that means, a few hands coming up. Because the number is majority that we cannot arrange a screening here, sir. You have to make up your way, no other way. If the number is big, maybe we will request IKAC to arrange a screening here. Right? I'm sure all those who have enjoyed the film Bahubali 2, there would have been some discussion at your home like this. Your son or daughter might have told you, oh, daddy, are we going to Bahubali? Which theater are we going? Oh, this theater. Oh my God, I will not come. That theater will not be good for this film. Okay? Hey, I will get you a DVD and we'll see it home. No way. Any other film I will be happy at watching home. But Bahubali 2 only at that particular theater, that particular screen. Okay? So, we would like to have some enriched experiences, even that of entertainment. Now, you think of every household in India, even middle class households, have every technology in place. You have an LED television, LCD television, curved television, plasma television, 5.1 home theaters, DVDs, gaming consoles, sound bars, everything for the so-called entertainment. Because we cannot afford to have a lower quality entertainment in our life. Right? What will happen to India's economy if we miss out some of the teleserials which we cannot afford to miss at all? Okay? So when every technology is in place for entertainment, why the very same technologies which give us better experiences of entertainment can give our boys and girls better experiences of learning? It's all, that's it I'm going to focus on. So giving enriched learning experiences. See, learning experiences are very, very important, and an institution is known by the learning experiences it provides. Why is it Harvard a big place? Why is it IIT is a big place? IIM is a big place? Because the type and nature of learning experiences that the learners get there, that makes the difference. Okay? So that is why the thrust is on giving learning experiences, right, and enhancing the learning experiences through digital platforms. So when I'm sure you see a small asterisk mark here somewhere, since this is a large hall, I don't know whether you can see what it stands for. I have put somewhere in very small font size, something like T&C apply. Okay? That's what the asterisk mark stands for. Where else you see T&C apply? Terms and conditions apply. Where else you will see? Advertisements, no doubt. Advertisements always come with an asterisk mark. Right? And any products, discounts, offers, right? So everywhere. So even if you buy a sachet of shampoo for 5 rupees, it will be somewhere there, a small asterisk mark, and somewhere it will say conditions apply. நீங்கள் 6 வாரங்களில் சிகப்பழகு போகணும்னா சில conditions apply, right? Okay, everywhere it is like that. Okay. So what terms and conditions apply when we talk about the power of technologies? One is, when we talk about what technologies can do to you as a teacher and to your students as a learner, by no means we underestimate the role of a human teacher in the teaching learning process. Because you should not mistake that because I am from a Department of Educational Technology, I am here to talk something about all technologies are superior to human teachers. and technologies are much advanced compared with human teachers' capacity. No. By no means we underestimate the role of a human teacher in the learning process. And the human teacher has a very, very decisive, indispensable role to play in the classroom teaching. No doubt at all. And the second thing is, we don't look at any technology as a kind of a replacement for human teachers. Right? See, this is a phase of human history where there is tremendous advancement in science and technology happening at high speed, unprecedented high speed advances happening in all sciences. And even if such a speedy advances continue for another 50 years, I don't think anybody can come and say that, because of these technologies, all English language teachers are replaced. And these technologies have replaced mathematics teachers. And because of these technologies, history teachers are gone. I don't think in any point of human history, such a thing will come. So it is not that of a comparison between teacher versus technology. The comparison today is more like a teacher with the technology versus a teacher without technology. A teacher who accepts technology versus a teacher who rejects technology. A teacher who rejects technology today, by no means, in a very few years down the line, will be replaced by a teacher who accepts technology into the professional lives. See, very recently, National University of Singapore gave an advertisement. Some of you might have seen. It's an international university in terms of students as well as faculty. There are nearly about 140 faculty members' positions were advertised. National University of Singapore. And the salaries, you can imagine, it's a NUS, it's one of the top-rated universities of the world. And it says, in addition to the necessary research and educational qualifications, online facilitation skills are essential for anybody who is applying there. So if you don't have online facilitation of learning, that competences you don't have, you cannot apply even to NUS, right? That is the way. So it is not that of, as I told you, a teacher getting replaced by a technology, but it is more that of a teacher who refuses technology getting replaced by a teacher who accepts technology. And the third thing is, when we talk about all these technologies, online learning, virtual learning, multimedia-based learning, app-based learning, today, if you have children going to any CBSE school, your son or daughter in 6th standard or 7th standard, they know very well Byju's apps, right? Byju's apps are a way of life for their learning. Right? Okay. So when we talk about all these things, one thing that I have to make it very clear is that we are again not here to present a kind of a rosy picture of what all good things technologies can do. Sir, you are talking all about the pluses, advantages of technology, but the social media platforms and other things, they have something negative about that also. In fact, I don't have any answer for such a question. Maybe I have to put back another question. So if you are thinking in those terms, maybe then tell me a single device which science and technology has developed, which does not have negative side to it. With a matchstick, you can burn down a whole house as well as light up a candle. Both are possible. Because the matchstick has a negative power to burn down a house, it doesn't mean that we stop using it. On the other hand, we tell people how to handle it safely and for productive purposes. Okay? So these three things I would like to make it very clear. So the idea is more of this. How do we make the learning process more interactive, more participatory, more engaging, more involving, more joyful, more meaningful with technologies which are readily available to us? See, that I have to underline. I am not going to talk about any technologies which are beyond your reach. I am going to focus on a few technologies which are readily available to you, and most of these technologies are available to you free of cost. There is something called OER, in all capitals, OER, Open Educational Resources. Open educational resources are those digital resources for facilitating learning, teaching, which are available to you free of cost for downloading, using, modifying, editing, sharing, anything you can do. There is nothing called copyright or copyleft, nothing like that, right? It's all open. Open in the sense it can be downloaded free, used it, modified, share, anything for that matter. I have asked for an internet connection. maybe in the last 15 minutes, I should be providing an online demo to you with regard to a few things so that you will practically see how this digital learning is happening. Right? Okay. So, the idea, these are very important, interactivity, participation, engagement, right? These are all very important because leave alone being practicing technology enhanced learning, even inside a classroom where you go ahead with your conventional model of chalk and talk method, these three are very, very important. These 3-4 words are interactivity. See, when you get into a classroom of about 40 children, 40 students, you are given 1 hour session. The job expected of you is that you will interact with 40 minds for the given 1 hour. Not that you will speak to 40 human bodies and come out. It is something that you cannot do, right? Because what is opposite to you there are about 40 vibrant minds, dynamic minds sitting there. And your job as a teacher is to keep those 40 minds interactive for 1 hour, right? So you can't look at them just as a human bodies. But the question is it possible by every teacher to be interactive with every mind for every minute in the class? That's a big challenge. Okay? Whereas we will see how some of the second generation web technologies, something like Web 2.0, we talk something like that, that's so big a word nowadays in the industry, Web 2.0. We will see some of the latest second generation web technologies, how do they make the whole human interactions better. I think almost the interactivity levels are reaching the maximum today with the web experiences. So you might have experienced yourself, if you are doing some purchases online, even without you being asked, some suggestions will come in. If you are buying 2 books related to Indian history, a 3rd book will be the Amazon or Flipkart will suggest. So how is it that Amazon has understood that you are a person, right, looking forward for some books in history related? So it is that. Right? Okay. So participation. Then again I have a question for you to think over. Do we all, everyone, achieve the maximum level of participation in the classroom? That is, does everyone in the classroom, every boy and every girl, participate in the process of learning that is happening there? See, I am a director of HRDC. All through the year, we conduct a number of orientation, refresher, short-term courses. On the day 1, I asked this question to participants. Almost from Jharkhand, Kashmir, people will come. I asked them, see, are you here to attend the program or are you here to participate in it? Okay? The same question I am putting to you also. Have you been attending an FDP or have you been participating in it? Okay? Thank God, right? I am very happy that you are participating, right? Because, participation is important, right? Okay? And you will, even if you go back to your school or college days, you will remember only those classes in which you participated. You would have forgotten all the other classes where you were cut off from what was going on there. Okay? So participation is important. Then, if in every classroom, a higher level of participation is achieved, then another big question that remains unanswered is, see, in all our Indian classrooms, we have a lot of wooden desks. Okay? And every wooden desk is filled with a lot of literature and art. Okay? Our boys and girls are at their creative best when it comes to writing and drawing in the desk. And some great philosophies you will see sometime. Right? Especially if you go to Government Arts College, you will see great philosophies. Right? I am a product of Government Arts College. Also, I am a product of PSG Arts. But PSG Arts did not have that much of philosophers there. Right? Okay. Okay. So that is one thing. One of my teachers used to tell me, every such desktop where you find a lot of writing and painting by students, drawing, is an indicator that there have been some ineffective teachers in the class and there have been some ineffective moments of teaching in the class. Because what went wrong was a lack of engagement. Right? Okay? By the word engagement here, I don't think there is anybody young enough to mistake that engagement. Okay? That is something either sadly or happily we recall, right, sometime. Right? Okay. Maybe all those on the other side sadly recall. Right? Okay, that's it. Right? Okay. So what I mean here is keeping human minds engaged. You see, keeping human minds engaged is not a cup of tea for all people. It is not possible by everybody. Do you think a bank manager can keep 3 minds engaged for 10 minutes continuously? He can never do that. That is why he is given a corner room with a laptop, everything, you be here, sir. Right? That's how it is. Okay? But you see, thank God that you and I have that capacity. We are permitted to go to a classroom and stand before 40 students with the hope that we will keep the 40 minds engaged for 1 hour. And here I have again a comparison between a classroom with that of a cinema hall, a theater. Okay? See, you are there in a classroom with relevant content, useful materials, right? Whereas on the other hand, in a cinema hall, the film director is not there physically present. Okay? He is not there physically present there. But still, there are 700, 800 adult matured minds in a cinema hall, and the film director keeps all these 700 minds engaged for 2.5 hours, sometimes 3 hours, sometimes with nonsense content. Okay? Whereas we go to a classroom with sensible content. We fail to keep the minds engaged. So what is it that the film director has? You know, the power of the medium, right? The technologies, the visual cues, right? So the point is here, very simple. It is the very same thing that we think of in the context of human learning, very much in India. That is why the government of India has embarked upon a very massive mission of converting the whole Indian education system into digital mode. Some of you may be aware that under the Digital India scheme, the third priority is digital learning, and you may not believe, nearly 1 lakh crores is going to be pumped into the digital education system of the country. So this is the way that it is happening. So now, coming to this digital, I am sure all of you can easily understand what this digital is all about. Digital is all this. It is all this binary code. You know, you are going too technical. I will stop with zeros and ones. Okay? So it is the binary code, the zeros and ones. This is on a binary code. The right side button takes me to the next slide, and the left one will take me to the previous slide. And that is the same behind any supercomputer today also. And I am sure there are some English friends here who will disagree with the point that the digital is not everything about zeros and ones, because the word digital, right, takes its origin from a Greek word called digitus. And digitus in Greek language means fingertips. So any of these technologies, gadgets, applications, services which are accessed and controlled, operated through your fingertips, they become digital. It is not that the computer science people are right and English people are wrong, it is vice versa. In fact, both are right here, right? All these are right based on the binary code, and all these are fingertip operated devices, right? And you see, when we integrate all these digital devices into human learning, then there is something called digital learning, which is a great area of research, exploration, and newer findings these days across the globe, right? Okay? And I would direct your attention to this document. In fact, this talk was originally planned for about 2.5 hours. So I prepared it in a little different way, but now taking into consideration the time, I am just cutting it short. So this is available on web for free access. The 3 E's of the digital age education. It's a beautiful report of a UNESCO funded project called Project Tomorrow. Why this is particular to you is because almost all of us here, including me and anybody here, we will all retire from our teaching careers before this digital age comes to an end. Okay? That's what the prediction goes. So if you and I are going to be teachers in the core part of this digital age, you and I must have deeper insights into the 3 E's of the digital age education, right? How technologies can provide enabled experiences and engagement. I was talking to you a little about engagement and empowered. See, today, every learner now has the power of technologies with him or her. Not like you and I. In olden days, we were in many ways disabled in terms of learning opportunities. But today, every learner has got the power in terms of learning opportunities. It is that I am going to focus more on, right? Okay? And I just want you to read this. Is it visible to you? People at the back end? I will be happy if you very quickly read it. Don't bother about taking notes and all. Right? It is available I have already copied it here. You can take a full copy right of it. Right? Just skim through it. Just get the gist of this. Yeah. So I'm sure you quickly go through and get the gist of this whole quote. So I think you can understand. This is what is the beginning of a blackboard inside our classroom. Blackboard was introduced into classrooms as a tool for teaching like this. And when did this happen? In 1800, not 1855, madam. The quote is 1855. It is 1813. So almost 205 years gone by now. And please don't mistake me as if I am here to talk negative about the use of blackboard. I know blackboard has a very decisive role to play in a classroom teaching environment. Maybe a whiteboard with a colored marker may give a little more effective learning experiences. And if there is an interactive whiteboard environment, it may be a little more, no doubt. But every board has its own role to play, no doubt at all. But at the same time, I have a question for you to think over, right? Not that immediate answer. The question is very simple, just for you to think over. How is it that you and I'm including me also, the teaching community, remains very happy and comfortable with a 200-year-old tool in our professional life? What is our justification for this? Right? Do you think a plumber or an electrician will do this? Right? Do you think an electrician will be happy doing his electrical work with 200-year-old tools? He will always look forward to have newer tools so that he can work less and the productivity can be more. Okay? That is what is a very basic idea. And what if a surgeon chooses to do this? Your chairman himself is a good doctor, your madam is a good pediatrician. If the best surgeon in KMCH chooses to do that, right? My MS was somewhere in 1980s. I was trained to conduct surgeries only with these implements. And I will also do today in 2018 also with the same. What will happen? So what I am trying to say here is very simple. Not that we say no to blackboards, but at the same time when we use blackboard comfortably, we should also progressively think of newer tools in our professional life. All these things and much more, these are all the tools of the day, right? Starting from FM radio stations, your N.G.P campus can have a community radio station today. They give you free licenses, not only free licenses, but also some funding for that. Campus-based community radios, starting from a very low-end FM radio stations to that of very advanced intelligent learning systems, right? Maybe on platforms like IBM Watson, right? Very powerful engines today we have. Like that, we have very many tools for learning. And here I have to make one more thing clear. Sir, these are all tools. Will tools make a big difference? That's a question. Then again, we have a proverb in training, like, a fool with a set of tools remains a fool. Nothing more, nothing less, right? Tools will not make any big difference, right? Okay, you give any number of tools to a fool, it will not be of any use. Right? That is one side of the game. The other side is, tools are potential of making changes in a personality, right? Marshall McLuhan, a very great communication scientist, would say, we the human beings shape our tools first, and after a few years of continuous use, the tools start shaping us. That's what he would say. Right? You think of your mobile device, a mobile phone has been developed for human convenience of communication. But today, if you forget your mobile phone at home in the morning, by 11 o'clock you feel like applying for CL and going home this afternoon. Right? Okay? Because that is the level of dependency we have developed over tools. So tools are capable of making difference, right? In a person's personality and with regard to anything for that matter. Right? And you see, all these things, I have put 2-3 things in red here. Flipped classroom, MOOCs, educational cloud, web apps and mobile apps for learning, and intelligent learning systems. Why they are in red color is because, very simple, for any teacher here, with another 10 or 15 years of service ahead, these are real red alerts. Unless you are going to take them very seriously and look at them from the utilitarian point of view into a professional life, you are taking a very big risk in your career. That is what is going to be. Probably somebody was making a mention of flipped classroom model here. Somebody was making a mention here. No, very simple thing is time is a big constraint today. So if it has been already touched upon, let me not go into it. Now, very simple. A flipped classroom model is something which is going to be very progressively implemented in the higher education system in the years to come. Already well-concerted attempts have been made to look into the possible outcomes of this flipped classroom. This morning you had a good session on outcome-based education. It is very closely linked with this. Very simple. Today, we are looking at the whole education system from the point of view of students. We call it as student-centric models or learner-centered environment, whatever is the term. So, looked at from a learner's point of view, a flipped classroom is one where for the learner, the classroom work will become homework and homework will become classwork. That's why it is called a flipped model. So, if N.G.P. college starts using a flipped model, what will happen is all your lectures, demonstrations will be videographed in summer or winter vacation. Your madam was talking about establishing an educational media production center here. So, all your lectures will be videographed. And all these lectures and demonstrations will be put up on some server, and a free access will be given to your students, and they will have access to your lectures, and they will listen to your lectures and watch your demonstrations either at home or hostel or as they are traveling by college bus in their handheld devices. Okay? And they will come to the class for an altogether different work of a discussion, project, assignments, right? They're more of collaborative learning. So, all their assignment writing, project work, everything they will do it here under the close monitoring of the students, teachers. Okay? So, this is what is a flipped model, right? For a classwork becomes homework and homework becomes classwork. Then the question is, what is it that is going to be advantageous, right? One, for the learners, in addition to all their learning, they learn all the necessary life skills, right? Their adjustment, right? Their time management, their value systems, socialization, communication, many things they develop. And classrooms become very, very active centers of learning. They are not passive environments where they sit and listen to or pretend to be listening. Right? It's not that. It becomes a very active place where, see, one of the important research findings in psychology says that the learner's learning capacity and learning readiness goes up to 92, 93% level when the classroom is very active. Okay? When the students are made to sit passive, it comes down to somewhere between 48 to 60. That's what is the research finding. Right? So, a classroom has to be active, and if a classroom has to be active, it has to be noisy. But if any teacher maintains a noisy class, the principal will not accept it. Okay? That's the problem. Right? Principal will recognize one teacher as the best teacher because he or she is capable of maintaining total silence in class. Total silence will be maintained only in the burial grounds. Right? It will not be in the classrooms where human learning should be taking place. Right? So, that is something that always one of my friends would compare. A classroom has to be like the living room of a large joint family. Okay? Imagine if there is a large joint family, uncle, then grandpas, grandchildren, everybody is there. Some are retired, some are just about to enter the job, right? Some are homemakers. Now, how the living room will be? It will be full of activities. Somebody will be playing, somebody will be watching television, somebody will be reading newspapers, somebody doing homework, somebody doing office file work, right? And maybe somebody is getting ready for dinner, right? No, it will be like that, right? The radio will be on, television will be on, right? Okay, it will be like that, right? It has to be like that. But unfortunately, in most of the time, in India, the classrooms are more like Christian burial grounds where you find a very sorrowful looking person talking in a very, very sad tone, and you find 40, 50 people opposite looking very sad again, and in between you find education dead in the coffin, right? Okay, that's how it goes, right? Anyway, so flipped classroom is that, right? Okay. Then there is MOOCs, I don't know, I was just, madam was telling me that the principal was also sharing with me, some of all the people have your NPTEL courses and all, right? People know, right? You know very well what MOOCs are all about, massive open online courses. What is important about MOOCs is, the government of India has very progressively started looking at MOOCs, and today we have a MOOC policy in place, MOOC policy of the government of India in place. And maybe after 2020, when I go to the demo, I will provide, I will show you some of the portals where if N.G.P student comes, an undergraduate student comes out at third year, when he brings out the consolidated mark statement, right after 2020, minimum one course the boy or a girl should have completed on the MOOC platform, Swayam platform. He should not take it on here in the campus. And if it is a PG student, one core course and one extra credit course, that's called ECC, extra credit course, the student should have completed as online course. He or she should not have taken the course on campus. That's why it is being done. It is being now looked at. And again, we have a credit transfer policy here. So for instance, if an N.G.P student registers for a course, imagine if you have BSc biochemistry is there, right? If there is something on a third year, a paper on genetic engineering, the boy or a girl chooses to do it on Swayam platform, and some IIT professor sitting at Kharagpur is offering the course. The student sitting in this campus will not come to this class for that particular paper. He will take the classes there, submit assignment, take quiz there, everything that will be happening between this student sitting here and IIT Kharagpur. He will complete all the assignments, tests, everything. He will earn 4 credits for that paper, and the 4 credits he will transfer it to N.G.P Arts, and N.G.P Arts will in turn push it to Bharatiyar University, and Bharatiyar University will award the degree, right? The credits actually the guy or a girl has earned from IIT Kharagpur. So it is what's called as a credit transfer system. And again, today the government has already started thinking about international credit transfer system. So why not, if it is Swayam IIT Allahabad or IIT Bombay, why you let them take courses from Texas or MIT or Sydney or any university abroad, right? After all, Texas University will not tell a lie and give a fake certificate. It will not happen online, right? So why not we accept that as a credit earned by the candidate, right? Okay, that's how this is being talked. Then we talk about educational cloud. Maybe in a talk like this, we may not be in a position to do full justice. If it's a workshop, maybe you can go and start working, right, on a cloud itself and see how cloud-based applications will be useful for, right, education. Probably more than 90% of you here have a Gmail account, if I'm right. Okay? And if you have a Gmail account, you already have an account in the Google Cloud also. Probably most of us either do not know, or even if we don't know, don't bother about using the cloud apps. But there are a number of cloud apps which the Google is offering free of cost to you. And more than about 30-35 apps are there for teaching learning also, what we call as Google Education Cloud, we call them. So that's all about the mobile apps, and the next generation e-learning is intelligent e-learning, they say, right? The systems themselves will be intelligent enough to make the learner learn through different examples and other things, right? If all these 4 ladies learn mathematics at 8th standard level, and all of them will not get the same content, same explanation, same example. Each one will get a different lesson according to her style of learning, according to her previous knowledge, and according to her learning capacity. Right? But unfortunately, in a conventional classroom, this cannot be practiced at all, because it is one-to-many approach. It is not individualized. Right? We know very well, 40 students means 40 different parental education levels, 40 different family backgrounds, 40 different learning styles, 40 different learning capacities, and 40 different background knowledge levels. But still, we cannot do anything about it. We will keep an average student in the mind and teach. That is the best thing that a teacher can do here in a one-to-many learning situation. But intelligent learning systems will provide one-to-one learning experiences, right? Where individual learners will have a learning path for himself or herself, which will be dynamic. Right? So that's all about it. I'm sure I asked, you understand why I asked you to read this yourself? Yes? It is not that I wanted to drink water, I asked you to read, right? Please understand. But one thing you must all understand, see, PowerPoint presentations all of you make, no doubt. But in addition to PowerPoint presentations, I also would appeal to you, make some powerful points also, right? That is important, right? And while making PowerPoint presentations, there are a couple of things you should remember. One is, a complete paragraph on a slide is never permitted. It is not at all a good practice to put a full paragraph on a slide, ending with a full stop. There are some exceptions, two exceptions to it. One is this. This is a quote. Now, I have no right to cut it, edit it. I have to put it as it is. And it has to be with a double quote. And another one is a definition. Okay? In a scientific definition, comma or a colon will make a difference in the meaning. Okay? So, it is accepted as it is. Otherwise, the ideas have to be bulleted like this and broken down into bullets, and it has to be presented only as bulleted points. After all, it is PowerPoint presentation and not power paragraph presentation. Okay? You cannot afford to have paragraphs here. Sometimes you will see in some conferences, people will come with 15 slides, each having 2 paragraphs, Times New Roman 12. Okay? Times New Roman 12 is a specification for the research paper and never for a PowerPoint. And Times New Roman is not at all a font for PowerPoints. Either Arial or Arial Black or that type of fonts are always good. And anything beyond 18, 20 is good always. Right? Anyway, we call that such practices of PowerPoint presentation, we call that funnily as PPT sing-along syndrome. Okay? It's a very bad syndrome that affects PowerPoint presentations and other things. Right? Okay, so I just thought I would spend a little time on this new media impact on the system of education here. By new media, what I mean is the so-called WWW. WWW stands for World Wide Web. You can also look at it as whatever, whenever, wherever. Because today it can give you whatever you want, whenever you want, and wherever you want. Okay? Now Swiggy gives you Annapurna dosas anywhere, anytime. Right? Okay, that's it, right? Through an app. Right? So you can think easily. That's why we call that as WWW, as whatever, whenever, wherever. See, these are the 4 pillars of an education system. The 4 M's we will say. The materials, methods, media, and men. And I should make at the very beginning very clear, by using a word like men, I am not being gender biased in my language. Right? It is only to go with the other 3 M's, it has been put like that, and it is given with a capital M, including women also. Right? Okay? So in any learning environment, the materials that are used, that makes the difference. Okay? And you can just make a simple comparison. What type of learning materials that you and I used during our school and college days, and what type of learning materials are available to our students today. Okay? And methods. With regard to methods, only one thing I have to tell you, whether you and I, the teachers, have modernized our methods of learning, teaching or not, our students have modernized their methods of learning on their own. We never told them that there is YouTube Edu channel. We know, most of us know that there is a YouTube channel, but there is another channel, YouTube Edu, where several lakh academic videos are there. So our boys and girls simply went and searched something on Google. They bumped up on a YouTube video channel. They went there, they watched, and they started sharing in their class group with everyone, and everybody started learning, right, with the help of a YouTube channel. So it is the methods of learning that are changing. Then media. Almost all of us here, except a very few teachers who will be very young here, more than 80% here, we have always been text and print based learners, because we were basically a print media based learners, right? Whereas today's boys and girls have hundreds and hundreds of the so-called non-print learning resources or digital resources for learning, or we'll call them as e-resources for learning. Resources for learning in electronic form. So then coming to the naturally, when all the 3 M's of a system change, the 4th M naturally has to fall in line. Right? That's a very simple idea. And you see, this impact of the new media on the education system has resulted in what is called a digital age pedagogy. I'm sure there was a mention about the word pedagogy here in earlier sessions. The word pedagogy is a 2-dimensional term. On one side, it refers to the art of teaching, and the other side, it refers to the science of learning. It is the art of teaching and science of learning. Teaching is considered an art and learning is considered a science today. See, some of the latest research in cognitive neuroscience, in certain areas called brain-based learning, it has come out with some amazing results and findings which have even say that, for instance, a particular boy is failing continuously in mathematics, which area of brain is responsible for this, and by activating certain hormones and imbalancing it, you can make him perform better in maths. Right? That is the way the cognitive neuroscience research is giving new insights into human learning. Then the other thing, then there is why there is a need for a digital age pedagogy. See, the philosophy is very simple. There was a period in human history called agriculture age or agrarian age. And what followed was an industrial age. Somebody says an industrial age. And a particular pedagogy was followed in the agriculture age. And when the industrial age came, that pedagogy was found to be unsuitable, so it was discarded, and we followed a different pedagogy for an industrial age. So now the industrial age is gone. Today we have another age. We call them as knowledge age, digital age, right? We call them as all these terms. So when a new age comes, a new pedagogy has to come into game. That's a simple idea. Then this digital age pedagogy is all about these 4 factors. If I speak about each 2 minutes, I think my purpose of the talk will be over. So one is the new gen learners. This is something I need not elaborate to you. நம்ம பல நேரங்களில் திருமணங்கள்லையோ காதணி விழாலையோ சாப்பிட்டுட்டு உட்காந்து ஃப்ரீயாக பேசிகிட்டு இருக்கிற விஷயம் இது. ரைட்? ஃப்ரீயாக உட்காந்து பேசிகிட்டு இருக்கும்போது இந்த குழந்தைகள்லாம் ஓடிட்டுருக்கோம். ரைட்? இப்போ யாரும் ஓடுறதில்லை குழந்தைய கல்யாண மண்டபத்துலலாம். ரைட்? ஏன்னா இன்றைக்கி பசங்க ஃபுட்பாலே மொபைல் ஃபோனில் தான் விளையாடுறான். ரைட்? ஈவன் ஃபுட்பால் இஸ் பிளேட் ஆன் தி வித் ஃபிங்கர் டிப்ஸ். ரைட்? ஸோ இப்போ பேசுகிறோம் நம்ம எல்லாம், ஐயோ மை காட், லுக் அட் தீஸ் சில்ட்ரன். ரைட்? என்ன மாதிரி அட்வான்ஸ்டாக இருக்காங்க இவங்கலாம். ரைட்? ஓகே. No, the father is very, very proud. என்னென்ன சார், என்னோட லேப்டாப் என்னோட பையன் தான் சார் அதிகமாக யூஸ் பண்ணுறான் 6th ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்லேயே. ஓகே. மதருக்கு பெருமை தாங்க முடியறதில்ல சார். எனக்கு எப்பாவது என்னோட மொபைல் ஃபோனில் ப்ராப்ளம்னா எங்கள் டாக்டர் தான் சரி பண்ணி கொடுப்பாங்க. 5ஆம் கிளாஸ் தான் படிக்கிறாங்க எங்கள் பொண்ணு. அண்ட் ஆண்ட் ஆக்சுவலி இஸ் வெரி ப்ரவுட். யூனோ மை காட், நம்ம பியூசியில் படித்த மேத்ஸும் ஃபிசிக்ஸும் இந்த குழந்தை இப்போ 8ஆம் கிளாஸில் படிக்குது. சி ஹவ் அட்வான்ஸ் தே ஆர். ஸோ ஆல் தீஸ் ஆர் பாயிண்டர்ஸ் டு ஒன் திங், that these boys and girls belong to an altogether new generation. They are not like you and I when we were of their age. Okay? That is why our English friends can easily recall Khalil Gibran or poet, right? A very philosophic poet. On children or poem, somewhere in the 2nd or 3rd stanza he would write, right? Your children are born for a different future which you cannot visit even in your distant dreams. Even in your distant dreams, you cannot travel the distance for which they are born. So never try to mold them. Life always goes forward and never goes backward. இங்கே தான் அந்த ஜெனரேஷன் கேப் ஆர் கம்யூனிகேஷன் கேப்புங்கிற விஷயமெல்லாம் வரும். நீங்கள் பையனை பார்த்து சொன்னீங்கன்னு வச்சுங்க, தம்பி நீங்கள் 8ஆம் கிளாஸில் இருக்க, நான் 8ஆம் கிளாஸில் இருக்கும்போது இப்படி தான் இருந்தேன், இப்படி தான் இருக்கணும்னா he will laugh at you. What mummy nonsense you are talking, right? What daddy is this, right? நீங்கள் 30 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி 8ஆம் கிளாஸில் இருந்தபோது நான் அதே மாதிரி எப்படி இன்றைக்கி இருக்க முடியும்? How can I be like that? ஓகே. இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் விவரமான பையனாக இருந்தால் அடுத்த லெவலில் போய் கேட்பான், டேடி உங்கள் அப்பா 8ஆம் கிளாஸ் இருந்த மாதிரியே நீங்கள் 8ஆம் கிளாஸில் இருந்தீங்க. நோ, யூ ஆர் டிஃப்ரெண்ட், ஸோ ஐ வில் பி டிஃப்ரெண்ட். ஓகே. ஸோ நியூ ஜென் லேர்னர்ஸ். தென் வித் ரிகார்ட் டு நியூ ஜென் லேர்னர்ஸ், see, when we talk about learner-centered environment and learning-centered, there is a lot that I can talk. Again, for want of time, I am cutting short, and I would direct your attention to this person, Mark Prensky, or writer. Very great writer, or a highly controversial writer in the early days, a very thought-provoking and a very meaningful author. He is celebrated worldwide as a thought leader. markprensky.com ஒரு வெப்சைட் இருக்குது, அங்கே போனால் டவுன்லோட் பண்ணலாம், அவரோட வீடியோஸ் பார்க்கலாம். He wrote this article, Digital Natives, Digital Immigrants, ஒரு ஆர்டிக்கல் 2001 எழுதினார். It's almost 17 years old. But even today, some researches are going on about the ideas given in this article. So in this article, a simple idea he propounded, that was any country will have an electronic boom period. எந்த ஒரு நேஷனுக்கும் ஒரு எலக்ட்ரானிக் பூம் பீரியட் ஒன்று இருக்கும். A country like India, somewhere 97, 98, that was the time when the cost of the electronic gadgets came down and எல்லார் வீட்லேயும் tape recorder, 2-in-1, television, VCP, right? இதெல்லாம் வச்சுக்கலாம் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு situation வந்தது. And all children born after this electronic boom period, they take birth in a digital world and they grow in a digital world, so much so they become the digital natives. அந்த digital eraக்கு முன்னாடி பிறந்து வர்றவங்க எல்லாரும் they grow, they take birth in a pre-digital era and they move into a digital world, so they all become digital immigrants. And you know, in the same article he writes, education systemத்தில் பிரச்சனை ஆரம்பிக்கிற இடமே எங்கேனா, ஒரு 45 digital natives இருக்கிற ஒரு கிளாஸ் ரூமுக்கு சாக் பீஸ் டஸ்டர் எடுத்துட்டு ஒரு digital immigrant போனால் தான் பிரச்சனையே ஆரம்பிக்குது. That is where the problem starts. The digital natives expect an altogether different things to happen, but we go ahead with the chalk and talk method, which we were exposed to in our school and college days. There is a gap of nearly 20 years. 2 decades is something, a huge period of time. That's what he says. And these children take birth in what is called digitally rich environments, and they grow in a digitally rich environments, and over a period of 10 to 15 years, they become the so-called DKs. In capital DK means digital kids. They become the digital kids, for whom most of the life experiences are happening on digital devices and digital platforms. For them, a computer or a laptop or a touch screen panel is not just a flat panel, it is a gateway to a different world to them, right? That's what he says. Okay? And another article is backup education, another beautiful article, another controversial theory. என்ன சொல்றாருன்னா, உலகத்தினுடைய எல்லா நேஷன்லையும் எல்லா எஜுகேஷன் சிஸ்டம்ஸும் பீப்புளை வந்து பேக்வர்ட்ஸ் தான் எடுத்துகிட்டு போகுது. இட் நெவர் டேக்ஸ் them forward. Because no chemistry teacher talks about the chemical compounds that will be in the industry when this boy goes to the industry after 2 years, 3 years. Okay? So it happens like that. A physics teacher also explains all the physics theorems, formulas given by the physicists of the past. And we never talk about what physics will come after 3 years when these people will be industries, will be there in the industry. That's why he said it's all backup education. Then the role of technology in teaching in the classroom. Another good article is quite interesting. I'm not so sure. I think on the folder, these articles are there. Maybe your IKSC people can disseminate it to you. You can read. But in my view, they are real interesting readings for any teacher of the 21st century, teaching in a 21st century learning environments, dealing with a new set of students. That's important. So I know you are getting a little tired. So I have some funny pictures to show you how digital kids are formed. Just some funny pictures, right? You know, you can see. In the mari adhaadu or gynecologist room la indha mari nadandalum we cannot be surprised. And you see here, that is how babies will be born in future, right? Okay. So this may be even if something happens like this, right? Okay. The interesting thing what you should see is, you can see here as the child gets into the world, the right opposite is a screen and with some wireless devices and other things, right? Okay. So they are exposed to this at a very tender age. And you see here how technology penetration, I think you can see here, right? How a young mother is using the back of an infant as a mouse pad. I want you to think, nammala eppa mouse pad nama first use panna aarambichom, later maybe or early 20s layo late 20s la then we started using the mouse pad. நமக்கு டபுள் கிளிக்கே 2 வாரம் ஆச்சு. டபுள் கிளிக் லேர்ன் பண்ணி முடிக்கும் போது 2 வாரம் நமக்கு, ரைட்? நம்ம கர்சர் எங்கெங்கேயோ போய் நம்ம அந்த கம்ப்யூட்டர் சேர் அப்போ பழக்கம் கிடையாது, அதில் கீழே விழுந்து, ரைட்? நோ தீஸ் ஆர் திங்ஸ், ரைட்? அதோட சேடஸ்ட் பார்ட் என்னென்னா, அந்த டபுள் கிளிக் லேர்ன் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் தெரிஞ்சது நமக்கு இந்த பக்கம் இன்னொரு கிளிக் இருக்குங்கிறது, ரைட்? தட் வாஸ் அனதர் பிக் ஷாக் ஃபார் அஸ், ரைட்? ஓகே, ரைட். So at what age the children get exposed to these gadgets? இன்னைக்கு சாதாரணமாக very recently ஒரு I was in a hotel ஒரு லாபியில் லேப்டாப்பில் நான் என்னோடய வயர்லெஸ் மவுஸ் கனெக்ட் பண்ணி யூஸ் பண்ணிருந்தேன். ஒரு சைல்டு, ஒரு ஃபேமிலி பக்கத்தில் டேபிள் உட்காந்தாங்க. அந்த பையன் வந்து he was very curious to know what was going on. அவன் வந்து கேட்குறான், அங்கிள் உங்களுக்கு வந்து இந்த டச் பேட் யூஸ் பண்ண தெரியாதா? ரைட், he was asking, don't you know how to use touch pad? Because using a mouse is considered an outdated practice, right, by these people, right? Okay. And இந்த பசங்க தான் நம்ம டீச் பண்ணுறோம், right? They are the people who are going to be with us, right? And you see here, it's all the Same, right? Touch screen generation, right? Young mothers இங்கே இருந்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் நமக்கு டச் ஸ்க்ரீன் ஃபோன் வந்து எவ்வளோ யூஸ்ஃபுல் திங் வித் அவர் சில்ட்ரன். குழந்தை ரொம்ப சத்தம் அதிகமாக போட்டுருந்துச்சுன்னா கொஞ்சம் நேரம் கொடுத்துட்டிங்கன்னா ஒரு 20 நிமிஷத்துக்கு எந்த பிரச்சனையும் இருக்காது. See, that's what I'm saying. எனக்கு உங்களுக்கு தான் அது மொபைல் டிவைஸ் அது ஃபார் கம்யூனிகேஷன். For the kid it is a plaything, right? It's a toy, right? So children growing with this type of toys and environment, right, they become the so-called DKs. See, this is a very famous picture on social media, the Neo-Gen alphabet. நானும் நீங்களும் படித்த A for apple, B for book எல்லாம் வேறு. நம்மெல்லாம் முழு ஆப்பிள் நம்ம படித்தது, ரைட்? ஓகே, இன்றைக்கி பசங்களுக்கு ஆப்பிள்னு சொன்னால் இமீடியட்டாக ஞாபகம் வருது, ரைட்? நாட் தட் ரெட் கலர்ட் ஆப்பிள், பட் a half bitten, right, apple of Steve Jobs. Right? See, what I'm trying to hear is, நானும் நீங்களும் லேட் 20s லேர்ன் பண்ணின டெக்னிக்கல் வொக்காபுலரியை இன்னைக்கு சாதாரணமாக ஒரு எல்கேஜி பையன் பிக்கப் பண்ணுறான். த வேர்ட்ஸ் ஆர் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஹியர். நானும் நீங்களும் லேர்ன் பண்ணோம், பட் த சில்ட்ரன் பிக் அப் த டெர்மினாலஜி ஜஸ்ட் லைக் தட். சாதாரணமாக சொல்கிறான் செகண்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் பையன், ரைட்? டாடி, ஐ வாண்ட் த லேப்டாப், ஐ வாண்ட் டு டவுன்லோட் சம்திங் ஃபார் மை ப்ராஜெக்ட் ஒர்க், ரைட்? நமக்கு டவுன்லோடிங் எங்கே? ஒன்லி லோடிங் அன்லோடிங் தான் நம்ம காலேஜ் முடி வரைக்கும். நமக்கு பிஹெச்டி பண்ண போய் கைடு போய் ஏதோ பேப்பருக்கு மெட்டீரியல் எடுத்துகிட்டு வான்னு சொன்னதுக்கப்புறம் தான் டவுன்லோடிங்கே நமக்கு. அது வரைக்கும் ஒன்லி லோடிங் அன்லோடிங், ரைட்? ஸோ தட் மேக்ஸ் அ லாட் ஆஃப் டிஃப்ரென்ஸ், ரைட்? ஓகே, சி ஒரு தேர்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் ஆன்சர் ஷீட் பாருங்க, ரைட்? ஒரு ஆன்சர் ஷீட் ஆஃப் அ தேர்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் கிட், ரைட்? 3 essential elements of human survival are, நம்மகிட்ட இந்த கொஸ்டின் பேப்பர் கொடுத்தா என்ன எழுதியிருப்போம்? நம்ம ஏர், வாட்டர் அண்ட் ஃபுட் எழுதியிருப்போம். ஸோ தட் இஸ் ஏர், வாட்டர் அண்ட் ஃபுட்னு கம்ஃபர்டபுளாக எழுதி 3க்கு 3 வாங்கிட்டு நம்ம மார்க்கில் அட்டையில், ரைட், 60% மார்க் வாங்கியிருப்போம் நம்ம, ரைட்? ஓகே, தட்ஸ் இட். பட் யூ சி, அங்கே ஒரு டீச்சர் ஹஸ் மார்க்ட் ஆல் ராங் அண்ட் புட் அ 0. திஸ் இஸ் த பேசிக் டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் பிட்வீன் அன் இமிக்ரண்ட் அண்ட் அ நேட்டிவ். இந்த குழந்தைக்கு ஒரு சாக்லேட்டை கொடுத்து என்கரேஜ் பண்ணியிருக்கணும், வெரி பியூட்டிஃபுல் அவுட் ஆஃப் த பாக்ஸ் திங்கிங், ரைட்? அந்த கன்வென்ஷனல் மாடல் விட்டு வெளியே திங்க் பண்ணிக்கின்னு சொல்லியிருக்கணும், ரைட்? அங்கே தான் நம்ம என்ன ஒரு பெரிய தப்பு பண்ணுறோன்னா எவாலுவேஷன் சிஸ்டமில். அஃப்கோர்ஸ் தேர் வாஸ் அ செஷன் ஆன் எவாலுவேஷன் சிஸ்டம்ஸ் பை சேதுராமன் சார். அகெயின், ஐ டோன்ட் வாண்ட் டு கோ டீப் இன்டு இட், பட் என்னென்னா த ப்ராப்ளம் இன் மாடர்ன் எவாலுவேஷன் சிஸ்டம் இஸ் டீச்சர்ஸ் ஹேவ் சம் ஆன்சர்ஸ் ஹியர் அண்ட் தே எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் த சேம் டு பி ஆன் த பேப்பர், right? And any deviation will be very seriously viewed, right? Okay, so that cannot be happening, right? Okay, and you see, இந்த பையன் நம்ம கிளாஸுக்கு வந்தானா என்ன நடக்குங்கிறது இதான் நடக்கும், right? Okay, this is what will happen, right? Okay, so மேடம் நீங்கள் எழுதிட்டு போங்க மேடம், நான் பார்த்துக்கிறேன்மா, right? Okay, சார் நீங்கள் எழுதிட்டு கிளம்புங்க சார், நான் பார்த்துக்கிறேன், I will take note. Oh, sorry, right? They will take notes like this. The madam also has been doing that, some people, right? Okay, so anyway, so these are famous pictures again on the ways on the web. The 3 apples that changed the world. Starting from Adam and Eve apple to Steve Jobs apple, in between Newton's apple. And this is the 3 biggest fears of our generation. People, eppadi irritate aagudhu namakku theriyum adu, right? Okay, when it starts rolling, right? Okay, so anyway, these are just funny pictures, just to kill the tedium. I just thought, right? If you are further interested in these talks, you can explore these people, understanding DKs, and born digital, understanding the first generation of digital natives. Why I am telling you all this is because if you tomorrow morning, Monday morning, if you get into your classroom, or 40 student unga munadi ukandirundha, all of them belong to the first generation digital natives. நீங்க உங்களுடைய லைஃப் ரிட்டையர்மெண்ட் வரைக்கும் 97க்கு முன்னாடி பிறந்த எந்த குழந்தையும் நீங்க மீட் பண்ணி டீச் பண்ண போறது கிடையாது. You are going to teach all children born after 98, 99, அவங்கள எல்லாத்தையும் நம்ம இப்போ ரைட் ஒய் ஜென் கிட்ஸ்ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். நானும் நீங்கள்லாம் எக்ஸ் ஜெனரேஷன். இன்னொரு கேட்டகரி இப்போ வந்துட்டு இருக்கு, ஜெட் கேட்டகரின்னு, ஜி ஜெனரேஷன். 2005க்கு அப்புறம் பிறக்கிற குழந்தைகள்லாம் ஜி ஜெனரேஷன், ஜெட் கேட்டகரி. ஒரே டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் என்னென்னா, இந்த ஜெட் கேட்டகரி எப்படி இருப்பான்னா, இப்போ நம்ம கிளாஸில் இருக்கிற ஒய் கேட்டகரியை விட 8 மடங்கு ஃபாஸ்டராக இருப்பான் நான் டெக்னாலஜி அடாப்டேஷனில். அவன்லாம் வரதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம ரிட்டையர் ஆகிக்கிறது பெட்டர்னு நினைக்கிறோம். ஓகே, ரைட். ஏன்னா இவனை மேனேஜ் பண்ணுறதே நம்ம கஷ்டமாக இருக்குது. ரைட், ஓகே, ரைட், ஓகே, தட்ஸ் இட். ஸோ அண்ட் யூ லுக் அட் திஸ் book. This is not a free book. These are freely available on web. This is not a free book. Why do I need a teacher when I got Google? So does it mean that the Mada Pida Guru Deivam இப்போ வந்து Mada Pida Google Deivam ஆயிட்டிருக்கா? Right? Is a teacher getting replaced by Google? Right? No, absolutely not. Right? See, it's very simple. All that I have to tell you is very, very, very simple. There are 150 things which Google can give to our students. So let Google give it. Why we should be there? முதலாம் பானிபட் போர் எப்போ நடந்தது, யார் ஜெயிச்சாங்க, யார் தோத்தாங்க, யார் எந்த 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 டேமை கட்டினாங்க, ரைட், A+B² என்ன ஆகும், ரைட், இந்த ஆசிட்டையும் இந்த ஆசிட்டையும் இந்த டெம்பரேச்சர் கொண்டு போனால் என்ன கலர் மாறும், ரைட், இதுக்கு எதுக்கு why you and I are there, right, there are n number of sources for that. So let Google give our students what it can give them, and let you and I give them what Google cannot give them. There are thousands things which Google cannot give to our students. So that means that part you and I have to do, making a radical shift in our professional roles. That's very simple. I am happy that N.G.P has a device like this. The many colleges talk கொடுக்க போகும்போது இது இருக்காது, இது வச்சிருக்க மாட்டாங்க. I carry it. இல்லைன்னா என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, சிஸ்டம் எங்கேயோ இருக்கும், நான் எங்கேயோ இருப்போம், somebody will sit here and help you, sir. Right? I say it's a colossal waste of energy. ஒரு அசிஸ்டன்ட் ப்ரொஃபஸராக 2 மணி நேரம் உட்கார வச்சு அடுத்த ஏரோ மார்க் அமுத்திட்டு இருக்கிறதுங்கிறது இட் இஸ் நாட் அக்செப்டபிள். ஸோ ஒரு 2000 ரூபாய் டிவைஸ் பண்ண வேண்டிய வேலையை டிவைஸ் பண்ணணும். வாட் அ ஹியூமன் மைண்ட் ஷுட் டூ, a human mind should. That's a very simple idea, right? So this is a good book which will tell you what you should be doing as a teacher in the era of Google, YouTube, MOOCs and other things. இந்த புக்கில் இருக்கிற விஷயம் ஒரே விஷயம்தான். 25 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம டீச்சர்ஸ் நமக்கு பண்ணின அதே வேலையை நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸுக்கு ரிப்பீட் பண்ண முடியாது. ஏன்னா 25 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி கூகுள் இல்லை, யூடியூப் இல்லை, கான் அகாடமி இல்லை, மூக்ஸ் இல்லை, ஸ்வயம் இல்லை, எட்எக்ஸ், கோர்சரா எதுவும் கிடையாது. ஸோ வி ரிலீஜியஸ்லி அக்செப்டட் வாட் எவர் திங்ஸ் our teachers did to us. But today, you and I, we cannot afford to do that to our friends. I think he's getting a little anxious, right? The time is coming up, sir. Yet, you can just signal to me, I will close, right? So, this is a book which will talk elaborately about that, right? So, I will skip a few things here. இதெல்லாம் இந்த புக்ஸ் எல்லாம் படிச்சீங்கன்னா இதெல்லாம் சொல்லும். இந்த புக்ஸில் இந்த நெட் ஜெனரேஷன் லேர்னர்ஸ்னுடைய கேரக்டரிஸ்டிக் ஃபீச்சர்ஸ்னு ஒரு 6 விஷயத்தை சொல்லும். இந்த 6 விஷயம் we have to learn to make it better. நம்மளுடைய டீச்சிங் லேர்னிங்கை ரீஅலைன் பண்ணிக்கிறதுக்கு யூஸ் ஆகும். So, this is a kind of I was talking to you about a new learning environments. 4 விஷயம் பேசினேன், right? Okay. New learning environments are those, right? Can you just see onto the left side, you will see, right, 2 pictures. This is a school located in this is a classroom of a public school located in Minnesota University, United States of America. So you don't find a big deal of difference there. That is an informal learning environment, okay? And where the students are sitting outside, the teacher is inside and other things, it goes like that. And this you may be surprised to know that this is a picture of a school located deep in the Sundarban forest in West Bengal, okay? Where in the entire village there is no electricity even today. The whole village lacks electricity and only the school has solar powered electricity. And this is a tribal school run by the government of India, and that is the first government school to go on cloud computing. Right? Now, why I am particularly saying this is because if you think, sir, நீங்கள் சொல்கிறதெல்லாம் ஐஐடியில் ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகும் சார், அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகும், ரைட், நாங்கள் we are getting first generation students வருவாங்க, illiterate parents கிட்டேருந்து வருவாங்க, இங்கெல்லாம் டெக்னாலஜி ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகாதுன்னு நீங்கள் நினச்சிங்கன்னா I am very sorry, it's wrong. Because it is a proof that even technology works wonders with tribal children. Right? Today you have about 63 children, they are tribal students using all the web apps and Google Cloud apps for their learning. Right? So, I think I should be closing in another 5 minutes. Right? Can I? Right? Okay, that's a madam has come. Right? So, I would skip a few things. So, the learning environment that is happening across the globe is more of this. Right? So, where no institution is away from the learner in terms of physical distances. Okay? So, any institution is only a few clicks away from the learner. See, any classroom in this campus, you know it is an N.G.P college campus. It's a classroom. But any N.G.P class can be converted into an IIT Bombay class also. Because IIT Bombay la co-learn ஒரு platform வச்சிருக்காங்க. மார்னிங் 9ல் ஆரம்பித்து சாயந்தரம் 4 வரைக்கும் எந்த கிளாஸ் அங்கே நடந்தாலும் லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீமிங் நடக்குது வீடியோவில். ஸோ எனி engineering college classroom can be converted into IIT Bombay class. ஸோ நான் என்ஜிபி இன்ஜினியரிங் காலேஜில் இருக்கிற டீச்சர்னால ஐஐடி பாம்பே டீச்சர் பண்ணுற வேலையை பண்ண முடியாதுங்கிறதில்ல. The point is, for any student sitting in any campus, live streaming of videos from IIT Bombay. Right? So you can give them the exposure, such an international quality learning culture. Right? So that is important. Right? Okay? And maybe I was talking about learning media. Right? The new learning media, I was just giving you a comparison. நானும் நீங்களும் எப்படி print media generationல வந்தோம், and our students are more into the digital media generation. And you and I, finally I should close here, a new generation teacher. What you and I are supposed to be? We are supposed to be orchestrators of learning and not dispensers of information. Information dispense பண்றதுக்கு Google, Ask, Bing, Yahoo, n number of apps are there. Right? But you and I should be orchestrating the learning process, and we should help, right, convert the students to convert information into knowledge. That is very important. See, Google can throw out any GB of information, but it cannot help you convert that information into knowledge. Because information, knowledge ஆகணும்னா உள்ள வர வேண்டிய விஷயம் the so-called higher order thinking skills, HARTs ன்னு சொல்லுவோம், right? The so-called HARTs. Again, I'm not going deep into it. If you just have a look at this picture, this is the Benjamin Bloom's digital taxonomy, revised taxonomy ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். LORDS and HARTs ன்னு சொல்லுவோம், lower order thinking skills and HARTs. See, இந்த ரெண்டு understanding, remembering our lower order skills in the 21st century. So, இன்னைக்கு 21st century successக்கு உண்டான ingredient என்னன்னா higher order skills. யாருக்கெல்லாம் higher order thinking skills also, they become, right, big successes, and people with lower order skill achieve lower levels of success. That's a very simple one. And you can easily compare, and this is a range of technology tools you can use for, right, communicating. Only one thing I want you to do, just ஒரு சின்ன எக்ஸசைஸ் பண்ணி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா you will understand. ஒரு 7-8-10 கொஸ்டின் பேப்பர் எடுங்க, அது எனி கொஸ்டின் பேப்பராக இருக்கட்டும், இந்தியாவில் வந்து எந்த கொஸ்டின் பேப்பர், அந்த கொஸ்டின் பேப்பரில் இருக்கிற ஆக்ஷன் வேர்ட்ஸ் இருக்குங்க பாருங்க, வேர்ப்ஸ், அந்த வேர்ப்ஸை மட்டும் ஒரு அண்டர்லைன் பண்ணி பாருங்கள். மேபி சேதுராமன் சார் மைட் ஹவ் மென்ஷன் திஸ், பண்ணியிருக்கலாம் இதை எக்ஸாம் பேசும்போது. அதில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா more than 60% of the verbs in the Indian question papers will go in these two boxes. நம்ம கொஸ்டின் என்ன எழுதி பழக்கம்? Define, classify, illustrate, right, explain, right, critically evaluate ன்னு ஒரு கொஸ்டின் எழுதுனீங்கன்னு வச்சுங்க, அடுத்த தடவை கொஸ்டின் பேப்பர் செட்டிங் உங்களுக்கு வராது. right? ஏன்னா அவர் ஒரு பிக் டார்ச்சர் சார், அவர் பயங்கரமாக கொஸ்டின் எல்லாம் கேட்குறாரு சார், பையனை ஏதோ பாஸ் பண்ணி விடணும், ஏன்னா அவனே ஃபெயில் ஆகணும்னாலும் நம்ம விடக்கூடாது. ரைட், தட் இஸ் அவர் பாலிசி. ரைட், ஓகே. ஸோ that is what is important, right? That's very important thing to do that. நமக்கு அங்கே ஒரு global competence and global competitivenessல போய் அடி வாங்குற இடமே இதுதான். Our people do not have, right, the higher order skills. I'm not going again deep into it. These are the range of technology tools. I was mentioning a little Web 2.0, second generation web technologies, right? Web 1, Web 2, இதெல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சா நல்லது, தெரியாட்டி ரொம்ப நல்லது, forget it, right? So these are the tools that we have today which are into your classroom teaching. இது எதை பற்றியும் I am not going to talk. Maybe in a workshop mode we will be in a position to do something better. But here, only one thing I can tell you, சும்மா எதை வேணாலும் எடுங்க நீங்கள், மேபி சம்திங் லைக் iRubric, Rubistar, VoiceThread, Prezi, எதை வேணாலும் சும்மா கூகுளில் கொடுங்க, உங்கள்கிட்ட மொபைல் ஃபோன் வந்து இப்போயே கொடுங்க. VoiceThreadனா VoiceThread பிளாட்ஃபார்முக்கு போகும், நீங்கள் Preziனா Prezi பிளாட்ஃபார்முக்கு போங்க, சம்வேர் இருக்கும் அங்கே லேர்ன் Preziன்னு இருக்கும், அதை கிளிக் பண்ணிங்கன்னா it will tell you how to learn that. அது எப்படி ஒர்க் பண்ணணும். ஒரு 10 days உட்காந்திங்கன்னா 11th day Prezi presentation நீங்கள் பண்ணலாம். வெரி சிம்பிள். இன்ஃபேக்ட் உங்கள் ஸ்கூல் கோயிங் சில்ட்ரன் உங்கள் வீட்டில் இருந்தாங்கன்னா அவங்கள பக்கத்தில் உட்கார வச்சிங்கன்னா இன்னும் ஃபாஸ்ட்டாக நீங்கள் லேர்ன் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஏன்னா உங்கள் பையனோ பொண்ணோ சொல்லும், மம்மி என்ன மம்மி இங்கே தான் இருக்குது பாருங்க, கிளிக் பண்ணுங்கன்னு சொல்லும். ரைட், ஸோ இட் will be good to learn. Right? So again, I'm not going deep into it. Maybe even computer science department, you can think of organizing a kind of a workshop, right, for mere putting people in hands-on sessions, right? So they will be in a position to learn, right? So I will just keep a few. This is another book available on web, Teaching with Technology in our book, right? Siemens and Peter. ஏன்னா இன்னைக்கு வந்து teaching with technology is an option for you. நீங்க கிளாஸ்ல PowerPoint பண்ணனீங்கன்னா ஓகே, பண்ணலைனாலும் not something very bad. But after 2 years, இப்படியே இருக்குமான்னு தெரியல, right? We are expecting an altogether big revolution to happen in the higher education system and the classrooms. Right? We can explore this. So all that I have to tell you is this. All that I have been trying to tell you is this. See, this is the type of education system that has been going on, the so-called teacher-centered model, right? For instance, இப்போ அடுத்த 2 minutes கழிச்சு நான் என்ன பேசுவேன்னு உங்களுக்கு தெரியாது. This is a conventional teacher-centered model. இப்போ இந்த whole presentation is available on a YouTube channel today. You would have skipped. நான் என்னெல்லாம் உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்ச விஷயங்களை பேசும்போது நீங்கள் ஸ்கிப் பண்ணி போயிருக்கலாம், ரைட்? அண்ட் நீங்கள் சூஸ் பண்ணியிருப்பீங்க when you should listen to me, from where you should listen to me, how long, how much, எல்லாம் நீங்கள் டெசிஷன் எடுத்துப்பீங்க, ரைட்? ஓகே. whereas it is not like that in a conventional model, and a modern education system is more like this, the so-called learner-centered model. where the learner is at the center and his or her learning is at the center. And around the learner, you have some innumerable opportunities for learning. Right? எனக்கு உங்களுக்கும் opportunities for learning were very less. School was one opportunity. Classroom was one opportunity. Teacher was one opportunity. Textbook was one opportunity. Tuition center was another opportunity. Neighborhood was another opportunity. அவ்வளோதான். But இன்னைக்கு, our boys and girls have hundreds and hundreds of learning opportunities. Most of them are powered by technologies and provided at your doorstep and fingertips. Right? So that's the big difference. Right? So all these technologies. Right? But one thing I must tell you, in the online learning portal, mentoring, இதெல்லாம் வந்துருச்சு. Thank God there is an instructor or ஒரு எண்டில் காலேஜும் இருக்கு. Right? It's there, we are safe. So does it mean that a teacher is getting sidelined today in the context of education, or a teacher is getting marginalized, or the role is getting minimized? No. See, இது எல்லாமே இப்போ learning portal, imagine ஒரு வெப்சைட் வேணும் mathematics teaching learning. Do you think it can come alive without the help of teachers? 500 teachers have to go and work behind a single website for school mathematics, right? Okay, that is why it's this more central is the position a teacher gets, right? So I would just close here with this quote: mastering some ICT skills is an essential life skill today. Sir, na maths enakku web 2 ku sambandham illa. My subject is English literature, my subject is Tamil literature, I have nothing to do with multimedia, nothing like that. For every teacher, some ICT skills or the so-called e-competencies are essential liberal arts today, right? We have to learn, right? And mastering some ICT skills and using ICT for creating a new learning culture is important. I would close here in 2 minutes. New learning culture is important. New learning culture eppadi varumna, principal, registrar, vice chancellor, secretary, nothing will happen. If you as an individual teacher think that I will have a new learning culture in my class, it will happen. Maybe I'll give a simple example. நாளை மறுநாள் நம்ம செகண்ட் பிஎஸ்சியில் என்ன பேசுவோம்னு இன்றைக்கி நமக்கு தெரியும். ரைட்? லெட் அஸ் ஸ்பெண்ட் 5 minutes or 10 minutes. நமக்கு ஃப்ரீ இன்டர்நெட் ஆக்சஸ் இருக்குது, அல்லது லோ காஸ்ட் இன்டர்நெட் ஆக்சஸ் இருக்குது. ஆஃப்டர் ஜியோ ஹேஸ் கம் இன். ஏன்னா ஹோல் இந்தியன் கம்யூனிகேஷனே 2 பீரியட் தான், ப்ரீ ஜியோ போஸ்ட் ஜியோன்னு தான். ரைட்? ஓகே, ஸோ ஃப்ரீயாக வர லேப்டாப் ஃப்ரீ 4G நெட்வொர்க் இஸ் தேர். 5 minutes or 10 minutes let us spend and identify 2 good websites. Go to the class, go ahead with your chalk and talk. And chalk and talk நமக்கு ஒரு கம்ஃபர்ட் ஜோன். கொஞ்ச நாளாக நம்ம அதில் இருந்துட்டோம், அதிலிருந்து வெளியே வர்றது கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டம். Let us go ahead with that, and at the end of the class, let us write on the blackboard 2 good websites and tell your boys and girls honestly that you see there are better learning experiences there. Okay, go there and explore. First day ஒரு 5 பேர் போவான் கிளாஸில், என்டையர் கிளாஸ் போகாது. Give 2 more websites. Next day 5 becomes 10. Another day 2 more websites, 15, 20. 15 நாள் கழிச்சு பாருங்க, the entire class starts going to the websites you give. 1 month practice பண்ணுங்க, 1 semester practice பண்ணுங்க, it becomes a learning culture in your class. And you know, 30th day, 31st day நீங்க வெப்சைட் கொடுக்காம வெளியே போனால் சொல்லுவாங்க, மேடம் today's website, sir today's website. So culture is after all what is we repeatedly practice, right? நீங்கள் ஒரு டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணுங்க, it becomes a departmental learning culture. If whole N.G.P practice, it becomes an institutional learning culture. வெளியே மார்க்கெட்டில் பேசுவாங்க, ரைட்? புட் யுவர் சைல்டு இன் N.G.P காலேஜ். எவ்ரி டீச்சர் கிவ்ஸ் 2 good websites. Evening when the boy comes home, there is a free laptop given by the government and there is a low cost internet connectivity given by Jio, right? With that the boy spends the whole evening sitting with some good websites, useful websites, learning websites. So after all, it is that which makes a difference. I always close my talks with this person, Alvin Toffler. Alvin Toffler is a very powerful writer. The Future Shock னு ஒரு புக் எழுதினாரு, ரைட்? millions and millions of copies sold all over. நான் என் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கெல்லாம் நான் சொல்லுவேன் எப்பவுமே, if you have friends you borrow and read, or if you have money you buy and read, or if you have strength in your body you steal and read. Okay, that's important. Where he will say the illiterates of the 21st century are those people who cannot learn, unlearn and relearn. இந்த மூணை யார் பண்ண முடியலனாலும் they are no better than illiterates. See, நமக்கு பேருக்கு பின்னாடி n number of degrees இருக்கலாம், right? But the moment you stop learning new things, you become an illiterate. And the moment you stop unlearning certain old things, you become an illiterate. And the moment you become incapable of relearning something in a revised context, you become illiterate. I always give the example of a bus conductor. 10 வருஷம் கலராக டிக்கெட்டை கொடுத்து அக்கௌண்ட்டுக்கு மரக்கட்ட பேனால் எழுதின கண்டக்டர், one fine morning he was made to unlearn that practice and learn the practice of generating a a digital printout from a handheld device. Okay? And you know, in the machine already Tamil Nadu 4 varsha coming January, new machines are going to come with new software, and he will relearn that technology. So I am not underestimating a bus conductor's role, but when a bus conductor is learning, unlearning and relearning, you and I as human teachers in a progressive nation, as agents of social change and as makers of a future world, you know how much we have to learn, unlearn and relearn. Right? So it is that which is very important. Finally, all that I have to tell you is that there is a proverb in American business, that is, we have to do today's jobs with today's tools. Okay? I was mentioning a lot of tools, and you know, if you do today's jobs with yesterday's tools, you may be out of business tomorrow. So all that we have to do is to do today's jobs with today's tools, because after all, the wars of the 21st century cannot be fought with the weapons of the 20th century man. We have to have 21st century tools to fight 21st century wars. Right? Similarly, 21st century curriculum, 21st century students, 21st century classrooms should be handled with 21st century tools, and that makes a lot of difference. My best wishes to you. You are in a very beautiful institution which gives a lot of importance to teacher development, and our IQAC madam was telling me there are a number of training programs in the pipeline. Equip yourself with newer skills, build newer capacities and make a difference as a teacher of the 21st century. My best wishes to every one of you. I must thank all the organizers for giving me the opportunity of coming home. Right? Thank you, everyone. Yes, please. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Digital native and digital immigrant problems. So all those things and all he have discussed in the thought-provoking manner. Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful session. Thank you.